are now. Morning all. We weren't prepared at all. We've been sat here for ages just talking about stuff. Then all of a sudden I looked at the thing and said 0 seconds to going live. So we're here. Morning. It's me and it's him. Yeah. Morning, everyone. We're going to do some building this morning. Dylan's building a thing he's never built before, and I've not built it either, so that could be interesting. Hopefully it's going to be a line-side hut. I'm going to build that, which I've got one in Blue Peter styling, which I can't reach. I'm going to build one of those, which should be relatively quick to do as well, a little Portakabin. So that's the plan. How it will all go, how it will all pan out, I don't know. We'll see. So we're just going to get organised, and we'll be back in 30 seconds. See you in a second. Right. Hopefully you can hear us. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Are we right way up?
Yeah. With desk cam there. I'm going to go on to comments, and I will shut up now and let you get started.
Brilliant. Well, good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Mic should be working. But yeah, this is the latest kit that we're releasing. This is the KX068-OO small line-side hut. As you can see, it is quite diddy in size. It's only a very simple building. Laser engraved brick, air brick towards the back, 2 sheets, 2 sprues, 3mm brick construction, main 4 walls, and then you've got a 1mm sheet for doors, windows, windowsills, base and a roof. So very, very simple. Only take you a couple of minutes to build in theory.
Right,
Did
the air brick cut all right?
It did, yeah, the air brick. I normally have difficulty showing detail when I do my live streams, but I think the camera's a bit better here. Hopefully you can see.
Oh yeah, it did work.
Oh, it's just like patting your head and rubbing your belly, trying to get it to line up. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a lovely little air brick in the back. I thought I'd give it a go when I drew the file, the file. And it's worked really well, so it's a nice little bit of detail. But yeah, we'll just crack on. Simply remove the 4 walls with a craft knife. They're only tacked in place. They're not. That little joint there's a bit too stiff. I need to probably loosen that a bit. But it's a basic prototype found in the northeast near Darlington.
Where else?
Where else, of course, yeah. I did do the design, so of course it's inspired by the northeast. Not biased at all. It's just that's the best. It's a lovely little building, even though it's inspired and taken from a design in the northeast. You can find these everywhere. It's just a little simple line-side huts.
Oh, is that me?
That's you.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Popular.
No, I don't even know who that is. Oh, I do know who it is. I'll ring him later. Sorry about that. Very on silent.
But yeah, as you can see, we're only, what are we in? A couple of minutes in?
Yeah.
And we've already...
You finished already?
We're finished already, yeah. Nearly. Yeah, catch up. Simply, we've got the 4 parts all removed, and you can chuck this, don't need that. That's the excess sprue. So as you can see, it's absolutely tiny. Nice little simple, no frills, but highly detailed, realistic. Oh, that's all the sound. Realistic line-side hut. So you can see we've just got a little bit of excess material on the bottom from where we've released it from the parts. So I'm just going to take the, what's this, the SX11? This SX11 sanding tool.
Sanding thing, yeah.
And just give it a little file down just to make sure everything's flat, square, and true. Always pays to take a little bit extra time. Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. Take a little bit extra time sanding your parts down. It just gives it a slightly little better build. It just improves the quality slightly. Especially if you've got quite big, what do we call it? I call them nodes. What do you call them? The little burrs at the top of the parts.
It's a node. Well, when we draw it, it's called a node, isn't it? It's
yeah.
So it's a node, I suppose. It's a node, pit, link.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing. It's a retaining thing.
At the risk of sounding really cheesy, let us know in the comments what you call them.
Yeah, I've got no idea really. There must be. It probably is a technical term for it, but it's just
nodes will do for me.
Node,
yeah. So as always, I am using the Deluxe Materials laser cut kit glue. This stuff is magic. I swear by it. I absolutely love it. You can't go wrong. And as always, jam jar with a piece of wet towel in. Store it upside down when you're not using it, and it won't clog up the nib. Right, so using the SX002 right-hand corner jig thingy, all you need to do is, so it's really difficult to know when it's on camera or not. Slide the two parts together, and then obviously we'll be gluing down the inside of each brick. This is a first run. This is the very first cut, and you saw me cut it out the sprue. So if it doesn't build, it's my fault.
Mr. Scullywag says Portakabin buildings are made in Huntington, York, of course.
Of course, yeah. So we're having a northeastern theme day today. It's contagious. It's spreading. Yeah. I knew it'll have an impact.
Tom Batty says the nodes have it. It's very, very good, very witty. The nodes have it. Yeah, I think it probably is. Probably, yeah, nodes will do, won't it? Morning, everybody. Morning, Nigel, Finnerton, Bear Lane, Steve, Chris, Simon, Mark, loads of them. Tom, John, Nick, Mark, Neil. Morning, Neil. Neil's not very far away. He's just up the other side of St Austell-ish, or Bodmin way. Morning, John Clegg. Morning, Brian Stewart. Loads of people. Ian, if I missed you, I apologise. I'm saying morning to as many people as I can possibly see on here. Yeah, it's been a bit damp and windy down here. Just reading USN 17's comment from Cromarty Firth. Very damp but mild as a day. It's a little bit milder. It's not as rainy as it has been. It absolutely chucked it down yesterday several times.
The forecast for tomorrow, I think, is even worse than yesterday, though. I think we're in for it tomorrow.
Miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just showing, I've glued one half together. With this Flux Materials laser cut kit glue, it is good stuff, but it just takes a little bit longer to go off than other.
Yeah, if your room's quite warm, it's not so bad. It's not that cold in here, but yeah.
And when you're gluing the second wall together, make sure you get it the right way around. Make sure you don't do two left halves. You do a left and a right. Otherwise, it won't go together when you.
Yeah.
That's a lesson I think we've all learnt the hard way. Make sure you build left and right.
Because that needs doing the right way. Otherwise, I got it wrong when I did the prototype thing. You have to sort of keep double checking against things.
You do,
sure that everything's going to work before you commit. So, morning, Art. Morning. Somebody else says pips, small and annoying pips. They are small and annoying. Morning, Roger. Hope Susie's well. Hope her operation went well and she's recovering nicely. Just trying to flick through, see if any other questions or whatever. Tom says can't watch live. He's got a doctor's appointment. He'll watch later. So hope your appointment goes okay, Tom.
So now we should have two halves that, in theory, will make a hole. So I'm going to glue the part we did previously just to give the fresh one a bit extra time to dry. And when I glue these, I just simply glue on the inside of the laser cut brick. That way, you know it'll line up nicely, and the glue won't be visible from the outside if you use the correct amount. This is very good stuff, so you don't need much at all. It goes a long, long way.
And good evening to Ross, who's tuning in from Melbourne in Australia.
So, I'll not do the accent.
I can't do it either.
Ofcom will complain probably.
Yeah. No good accents really.
We'll stick to modelling.
Yeah.
So we're nearly there with this, just gluing the last couple of bricks.
I will be doing a wrapped version of this thing. Dylan is really into his laser cut brick.
Oh, I love it. Absolutely love it.
I much prefer wrapped. So I should do a wrapped version of it as well, which I'll try and get done. Try and get this out before Christmas if I can. I've got quite a lot on before Christmas because various people have rung up over the last couple of weeks saying, can you get such and such done? And what's gone on there? Battery level. Ooh. Not what happened there, just bear with us. Bear with us a minute. Bear with us. What's going on? Something weird happening. I don't know what. That must be on.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, apologies for that. I do apologise. Let's just see whether that's working. Can't tell me that's on.
The microphone's gone off as well.
Yeah. So why is that not charged? Not charged. Which is weird. Excuse us a minute. And this should just work because it's on. Still not charging.
I don't think so, no. No.
We have technical difficulties. That's a bit weird and a bit odd and kind of stressful. Just bear with me a minute. I'll turn this round so you can still see Dylan. He'll have to show and hold some bits up to the camera a minute.
So as you can expect, the two halves have glued together nicely. Oh, go that way.
Right,
We're back. Are we back? I think we're back.
yeah, we're back.
Sorry about this, everyone. Yeah, as you can see, two halves make a whole, and we have the basics of a very nice building. What I will point out, what I've just noticed, is you can actually glue that way the air brick upside down. It is possible to get that piece the wrong way around. But I suppose if you didn't want the air brick for whatever reason, if you did glue it upside down, you can easily cover it with a bit of moss or lichen, or just fill it in with a bit of filler so you won't see it. So make sure you get the air brick the correct way around. Now I'm going to move on to the second sheet. We've got this part on my top left is a base. Don't know if you can see, the laser engraved interior is the outline of the inside. So if you wanted to detail this, you would take out the base and glue your tables and chairs and whatever to the inside, and then you know that when you put the building on top, you know where the walls should go, so it fits nicely. And then we've got the roof on my top right, which is this. That piece, that's a roof, and obviously you've got door parts at the bottom, windows, a spare window as well, because num nuts here can't count. You did two windows for the building, so only got one, and two window sills as well, for the same reason. For whatever reason, I thought this building had two windows and it doesn't, so it's spares. We'll start by doing the roof. That should just be a simple release. If anyone's built the LX386, which is the Bog Hall Lineside hook, it's the same door from that, so it's the same style. We just got the roof part here, just taking down the nodes. I think we've decided what it's called. We'll leave that to one side. There's no point putting it on now because we've got the window sills to do, and they can be a little bit tricky to get in if you do the roof first. So we'll quickly release one of them. I would recommend, if you are painting this building, I'm not painting it today for time reasons, and all the paints are about 500 miles away. But if you're painting it, I would recommend painting it at this stage, when the building looks like this, and painting the window sills and windows when they're on the sprue, if you can. If you're using a spray paint, do them separately. But if you're painting with a brush, do them on the sprue. Just keeps it tidy, keeps it neat. I think you avoid getting any spillage off. So like I say, SX068-OO, just file the part down just to make them nice and neat. You'll be getting anywhere with the second camera?
No, I can't get the blooming power supply to feed the camera, which is really quite annoying.
Do you want to plug it into my laptop so it can charge off that?
I can't get it to charge off of anything at the moment, which is quite concerning.
Technical difficulties.
It is.
Don't we love technology? It's a wonderful thing. So as you can see, the windowsill, it looks like a capital I or H piece. Trying to get some see that. It's harder to get the item to focus on an iPhone camera. I think this is where I go wrong at home when I do the live streams. I use an iPhone as my top-down camera.
Yeah.
It's quite hard to get the iPhone to focus. But all you do is you insert this at an angle. I'll show on this camera. Insert at an angle almost, if you can. So it's like that. Then you glue the bottom. That's what I'm going to do. And then with something here, like a pair of tweezers, you just put it in and push down once you've glued the bottom of the windowsill. That's what I'm going to do now. It might be a bit difficult to show on camera because of the... People are saying volume's very low as well, I think.
Yeah, it will be. I apologise.
That's because we're going off the
Yeah, it's
iPhone,
because you're going off the
right?
back
So
one.
our microphone stopped working for everything else. I do apologise, people. Hopefully it's entertaining watching us try and cope with what we've got. I would ask how your wrap's coming along, but I don't think that's taken priority.
I've done my wraps. I've done those. I'm just trying to now. I've got to try and do this without getting in front of the camera too much. So if I can get this back over here. Whether I can get this back on the feed, I don't know. It's just, I've just got to try and fiddle about. But sorry,
We'll let you off.
how do I reconnect that? I don't know. I don't think. This is really annoying.
It shows how adaptable we are, though. It shows.
Sort of, I suppose. It's really annoying. Because now I can't get that to flipping work on there.
Well, while Justin's doing that, I've just released the window. And if I can, I don't think that's going to
No, it's hard. You have to hold it by your
focus.
focus.
But you have to believe me, I've put some extra laser engraved detail on the window. So where the joins would be in the corners, that's actually modelled. And it looks apart. It actually looks apart. And I keep forgetting to take photos of this for the instructions.
Oh yeah, that's good. We can always run another one.
Yeah. They're not difficult to build.
Um,
So there was well, just get the lighting. There we go.
Alec Lancaster's just said, is it right to use acrylic paints? You probably just answered that and I can't remember whether you did or not.
I haven't, no, but I personally use acrylic paint. You have to be careful with acrylic paint because it's water-based, and since this is a form of wood, it's absorbent, so it will absorb the paint, and if you use too much, it'll become swollen and swell, which is just a single same word. So you have to be careful of that. Enamel's a bit better, but I would recommend using a primer. The Halfus Carb spray primer, it just keeps everything tighter, I suppose, the paintwork. But I use acrylic. In fact, if you go into the Railway Modelers Club and our Instagram page, you will see that we have a 5-part guide on painting brickwork. Really quick and easy, quick and simple method, courtesy of Dan Everson over at Tunnel Lane. Well, it's a variation of that method, and it works really well. I get great results. Really quick, really easy, and it's really adaptable, which is why I love painting brick, because you can sort of do it on the fly and you can get a different result every time. So the window's released. I'm just going to glue around the interior of the window on the inside of the building and push it into place. It's quite a bit of a loose fit, so maybe a bit more glue is required than you might think.
I'm still trying to get this blooming other camera to work, so just bear with me a minute. It's really annoying because today should have just worked, but
there's no reason for it not to have worked.
No.
Hopefully we're still on.
I think so. Yeah.
Still on.
And if I press Enter Studio on that one, it says the mic's working, and that's still there, which says there. And if we actually do, hang on, with a bit of luck and a bit of something, I'm going to do that. If I do that, and then I press that and that, hopefully we're back with the desk cam.
3, 2, 1, you're back in the room.
Yeah, hopefully it's well, it still says it's not charging, which I don't know anything about, but anyway, it's all plugged in. I had a bit of a panic there. I don't think the USB cable for the camera was plugged in properly. So anyway, I think we're back now. I think. You can see us anyway. Might not be able to hear us.
I'm sure they'll tell us if they can't hear us.
Yeah.
They normally tell me.
What's it?
I'll try and show you this now. Oh, upside down.
Yeah.
Now it's upside down. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll cope with that.
Yeah.
It's for our Australian viewer. We're upside down now.
Yeah.
All the right way up. So hopefully you can see a bit more of the engraved detail on that camera there.
Yeah. Why is that? Yeah, that's right. It's right way around on there.
So hopefully,
right. That's correct, yeah. Isn't it? Yeah. That's right.
Hopefully you can see that. As you can see in the corners,
it's nice and crisp now.
just a bit of extra engraved detail. Looks quite nice. Looks quite neat. And I'll remember to take a photo this time.
Somebody says volume down. I think that means you're turning the volume down. We've probably gone loud now, haven't we? Yes, we're loud. Loud and clear now. What else was I going to say? Somebody said, where was it? Where's he gone? Colin Edwards said he's new to this and wanted to say he's finding it very interesting and informative. Thank you. Glad. It's like these are really amateur. These are just amateur building
We're
sessions.
Just having fun, really, aren't we? Yeah, we're just doing what we like to do.
Making stuff. Quite a lot of people comment and say you need to do more professional live streams. You do this and that. It's not what we're about. We like to make nice models.
We let you do the professional stuff. We do the amateur stuff.
We just make things. We could do it all posh and fancy, but it wouldn't feel right. I'd rather just be with like your mates, which is making stuff and then showing you that
if we can do it, anyone can do it.
Yeah. I'm not brilliant at building kits. I really aren't. If you look at this, like that, which I'm going to build in a minute, if you look at this in great detail, you'd realise that I actually make quite a lot of cock-ups when I made that. There's a lot of things that aren't right with it. And probably only I'll notice, but I know they're there.
That's the worst, yeah. If you know they're there, you stick out. Right, just through this before I start gluing it together. On the door, this piece here glues on the inside and acts as your hinge. But if you, as the door is, if you just release it now, the door will be closed. But if you cut along this scored line here, hopefully you can...
Just about.
Just about.
Left a bit. Right a bit.
That way,
right a bit. Right a bit. That's it.
If you cut along this semi-scored line, the door will be able to open, which I think is a really neat feature. It's like I say, it's the same on the LX384 bog hole.
Yeah. Just a note with your window, actually, if you're glazing that, sorry, I've stolen Dylan's building. And I'm sat here looking at it. You can't see it. If you're building this and you want to glaze the window, you could use the two frames that he's put on that he said he didn't need. You can actually use the two and do them back to back with glazing in between them. Then you've got a proper window which is how I'll do the Portakabin ones in a minute. You got a proper window with then proper glazed thing. Just for glazing, just use. I know a lot of people like to use proper acetate and whatever else. Just use cellophane wallet,
like this one.
Just use the stuff that the kit comes in. Just use that, perfectly fine for everything.
Or you could use Clear Fix, is it? Clear Coat? Not Clear Coat.
Yeah.
The purple stuff.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called now. You use it for masking windows when you do some modelling.
Yeah, you can use that, and you can use.
Someone doesn't know what it's called.
Glue and glaze.
Yep, glue and glaze. Yep.
I've tried it a couple of times. You can do a weird thing where you put glue all around the frame, and then you kind of scrape it back on itself with the blade of a knife or something, and you can create a film, which is quite weird, but it works. Simon says he loves the mistake, and nothing wrong with the way it is. No, I know it is what it is.
It's exactly what it is.
I'm not an expert with technology. I'm not Elizabeth. Elizabeth knows how to do loads of things with technology. I don't. I can just about turn things on, plug it in, and make it do something.
And even then, that's usually a stretch.
And if it doesn't work, I don't know what to do. I used to know what to do, but that was 20 years ago. Now I don't. It's like even the TV. It's like 10 ago, you're watching such and such. I think, well, you can put it on because I don't know what I'm pressing. I don't know which box does the freesat, which box does the telly, and what happens. I don't know. Just leave it.
Any more questions in the chat from anyone?
Just having a look. Please don't change the live build format. Is ace because we can all have a laugh. Yeah,
that's how
which is fine. I like it. I'd like to just have a laugh anyway. Life's too serious, far too serious. Andrew says we have hearable sound and can see cutting board action. That's it. That's what we like, bit of cutting board action. And Tim says no need to shout. I know it's because the mics we've got, the things that are plugged into the actual proper camera are better quality and closer up than the one on the phone. The one on the phone is useless. But it is what it is.
So I don't know if people can actually see what I'm doing. I'm sort of concentrating a bit, but I'm cutting around that scored line just to make sure that the door can open. It's a bit of a...
One thing I didn't bring you, actually. You wanted a bit of wire, didn't you, for your...
Oh, it's the... Handle. I can't remember which we use.
It's a little N-gauge stuff.
It is, yeah. That's fine.
It's put a thing on it so you can make a fancy handle if you want to.
Yeah, from a staple actually. I think that's
Oh, right, okay.
what the instructions will suggest.
Right.
But if you wanted to make this door open, like I say, all you need to do is sort of cut down this scored line carefully.
Say, mind your bloody fingers.
Yes,
It's hard.
Danger zone.
It's hard cutting. Laser board's really tough to cut.
It is, yeah.
Really tough. Jeez. Obviously, if you're using a staple for the door handle, it's not a full-size staple. You bend the staple to make it door handle size. Don't just stick a staple to the front of the door.
Well, you can if you wanted to. But...
that would be sort of real modernist, kind of minimalist, massive door handle kind of thing. Andrew says, it's the same 20 years ago. Yeah, I could get things working and stuff. Yeah, I used to take stuff to pieces in my teens. I used to dismantle things and play around with them and then put them all back together and get them working. And
they're designed not to now, aren't they?
Now I go, no idea. Elizabeth will go, give it here. And she'll take it off me and click a few buttons and flick a few things and go, there you go. It's like trying to stream stuff from your phone to the TV.
Yeah, that's impossible.
It's like, you can do it through AirPlay. What? You can do it through AirPlay.
Yeah, what's that?
Yeah, okay. It's just, you do this, and there you go. I think, yep, your fingers were a blur for a few seconds, and now it's on the telly, and I don't know what you did.
So, in theory, all you need to do now is sort of...
Have you cut the door? Yeah.
I've cut it round here. All you need to do is score down the second line, just to give it a little bit of a...
What I will do, looking at how sort of precarious that is, on the production version, I'll probably cut it so there's
a bit better.
It's either cut deeper, so there's hardly anything to remove.
Yeah, it's just a dotted red at the moment. That's a technical term.
I'll probably put
dotted red.
Bigger red dots.
So now that's sort of glued round, not glued round, the opposite of gluing, cutting. I'm going to glue it. I'm going to glue the door frame around the top. All you need is just a tiny bit around the edge. Don't know how you describe the door frame, but it's cut at a 45-degree angle.
Chamfered.
It is chamfered.
There's a proper name probably, but I just call it chamfered. It's like architrave, isn't it?
Yeah, you got that. So you just glue that over the top. And this sort of, when you cut the door frame to make the door open, it sort of flails about a bit. Putting the door frame on just sort of keeps it back in place. How are we doing for time?
Don't worry about the time. I'm just reading this thing that says don't forget to take pictures. Which we'll keep. Worst case, we'll just have to cut another one later and do it. He's here till Friday lunchtime, so we'll have time between now. Roger says it cuts out occasionally. It could be this internet here. We are in deepest, darkest Cornwall, so it could be the internet. No, we're supposed to be fibre, but who knows?
Supposedly.
Just another new knife blades back in stock. Yeah, they should be. I think Dylan's after some. Yes, he is.
I am after some. Yeah. I've been wanting a new knife blade for bloody ages.
And this that's been on there since about April, to be honest. I think. That one's perhaps a little bit sharp. You've probably done the cutting now, apart from releasing the roof.
No, the roof's done. It's the base that is.
Which is only 4 or 2 pips nodes things.
I always put less. It annoys me. Not you annoy me, but the amount of pips nodes holding kits in. Sometimes think that they're a bit over egged, so I usually just do a little bit less.
Why don't you do that? I'm just going to run downstairs because I've just realised.
You're leaving me in charge?
Yeah.
Oh.
2 seconds because I've just realised half of my kit is actually downstairs because I can't feel them.
No, you've not got much there. Yeah. Well, I'm in charge. Hello, everyone. Just looking at the chat. Don't think I can see any new comments. But now, if I just show you, the door frame is glued on. All you do is slide it inside. Oh. Try not to let it slip. And in theory, that is that. Oh, no, it's not. It's coming loose again. I know I normally say less is more with glue, but I think in this case, more is less. Just a little bit more glue on the inside. If you ever glue something and think it's not quite sticking, sort of tack it in place. Same with soldering. Tack it in place with a tiny bit of glue so that you're happy with the positioning, and then go back around it just to sort of seal it in. And then it's already in position, but you've got enough glue to keep it held in. It's not wanting to go, it's not wanting to bite. For whatever reason. More technical difficulties. Hopefully. I think I just need
What you tend to find is the cut edge on the...
Excuse the dog.
Noela's obviously got more to say about that than me. The cut edge on the MDF, it's because it's very resinous or whatever. It tends to be,
not as
it feels a bit
sticky.
non-stick.
Yeah.
In a way. Not completely non-stick, but it sometimes
not as
resists.
bitey. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
But once you've got it in place, just run an extra bead of glue down the inside, just to keep it in position. And there we go. Hopefully you can see that. I'm not going to dare touch it now because the glue's all wet and I've just been fighting with getting it stuck. But once that's all set and solid, you can probably push the door open if you wanted to. And I'd also recommend, but I forgot / don't have the part, to put the door handle on before you glue the door in place. Just make it a little bit easier. Because obviously, if you're trying to thread wire through that, you might push the door out, so it's probably easier just to do it on the other side. So if I can nick your camera device.
I've just realised that all the conversation about knife blades, the knife blades were actually out of stock on the site for no apparent reason. I've just put them back in stock. I don't know why they're out of stock, but they were. So they're there now. And I've just loaded it downstairs because I realised half the Portakabin I'm about to build was actually downstairs.
And then with the roof, nice and simple. It says nice and simple, excuse me, but I've noticed a mistake on the kit. It's actually a mistake that I corrected, but I've since thought wasn't needed, so I deleted it, so I need to put that back in. But you just center it up and glue it on place. It doesn't matter if it's a bit wonky because these buildings were thrown together with no care, in the real world that is. I'm taking lots of care of this one. So glue around the top and then put it on position where you think looks best. Just saying though, on the production model, this will be slightly different. Once I get this in place, you'll hopefully be able to see. If I'm happy with the roof position, there is actually a gap at the top of brick, so it just needs 0.2 mil of a line of brick at the top just to make it.
Put a fascia on it.
Or a fascia board, yeah.
A fascia around it. I think that would be nice.
Yeah, so they'll be, on the production sample, the bricks will be slightly taller just to go all the way to the top there, or there'll be just a board round to cover that gap. I did actually draw that on the thing, but I thought and double doubted myself and then deleted it.
Yeah, I think that would. But it's nice little hook.
Yeah, that's a nice little hook.
Right.
I mean, how big is it? Rule here. Is this millimeters?
Yeah.
It's 4.5 centimeters long by about 3 centimeters wide. It's a tiny little thing. Perfect to go anywhere, any region, any era. Absolutely perfect little Lineside hook, really.
That's right. That's treat. You could probably put, if you wanted to put a chimney on it, you could put
Yeah,
a chimney on it.
definitely. We might be able to fashion one in the...
You could do one out of a bit of cocktail stick, to be honest. Still a bit of just...
Yeah, that's probably best.
Paint it sooty black. Because it'd probably just be it'd be a what's it, steel pipe or anything on that from a
stove,
a
stovepipe. Yeah, it wouldn't be a proper brick chimney.
No. So a little bit of cocktail stick or 2 mil dowel or something would be fine. Paint it black. At the correct angle.
Yeah, and make sure the roof's on a bit. Which I think that's a bit kilted on mine, but oh well.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's a pre-production first ever prototype.
Very first ever prototype.
Got it yesterday. Yeah. Never built before, so that's not bad for a first.
Happy with that. Yeah.
Good.
And hopefully they'll be live on the site.
I'll get them up before Christmas.
Before Christmas.
I'd like to do them this week, but it depends on
everything else.
What else comes out the woodwork tomorrow? And things do come out the woodwork.
So we swapping?
That's not bad. Yeah, we'll swap over.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it will be even more chaotic if I try and move the camera. I'm going to try and build this Portakabin now.
Super, and I'll man the live stream. So if it goes down now, that's probably my fault.
Oh no. Hopefully the thing's blooming charging now. A bit of a panic because Well, it just refuses to charge. For some reason, it was refusing to charge. But I think the battery was that flat. Not that we use the battery; it's usually plugged in all the time. But it hadn't been plugged in for such a long time. It had gone so flat that it was just refusing to just do anything, even though it was. I then plugged it in. Right. Haha. Okay, so we're there. That's where we need to be. That's the desk. That's my specs, so I can see what bloody hell I'm doing. Right, Portakabin. We are building then this now. Shouldn't take too long to do, don't think. Relatively quick. I've cut all the parts out. It's wrapped. This is where I teach Dylan how to work with wraps because it's really quite easy. It's not. He seems to think it's really.
It is hard.
But it's not.
I struggle.
It's not.
I struggle with it.
It's not. What I've done with the wraps is I've cut all the wraps out. These are the weathered ones. There's a pristine version as well. So you can build either a nice, brand new, swanky Portakabin, or you can have a mucky one. We're doing mucky one today. What I did invest in after however many years, how long have I been doing this? 2010 we started this, so 11 years. I finally bought myself a soft pencil. It's an 8B Faber-Castell pencil from Hobbycraft. It was about £1, but it actually revolutionises colouring edges. I used to use felt pens, and they always bleed and be a complete pain in the neck. So what I've done, bought one of these, say for £1, and I'm just running it round the white edges on the windows that I cut out. You can't really see what I'm doing, but it makes all the difference. It just makes those edges really subtle when you fit the windows and fit the wraps to the building. And because it's so soft, being 8B rather than a normal HB pencil, because it's so soft, you don't need any pressure at all to get a dark edge. So all I'm doing is running that down there to the wraps before I get started, and I might pass it to the young man here just to finish it off while I get on with building some bits. But so you're literally just rubbing it down there, and it will just take away those cut paper edges. You don't have big visible cut card edges with our kits. I would say cut card edges with our kits, but you do have some paper edges that are visible. But just doing that takes the thing away. And that'll even work for a brick wrap as well, because it would just give a kind of grey edge that your brain doesn't really see, to be honest.
Is that just a plain black pencil then?
Yeah, it's just
not a coloured one.
No, it's just a standard drawing pencil, an 8B grey graphite drawing pencil. I'm literally just using it to colour all of the edges. So if you can,
do you want me to
whiz round,
do the same?
Those ones want the outside, all the way around the outside. Yep. Those ones just need the windows and doors doing. Please on those. I've done the other ones. I think, yeah.
Yeah, even I can tell from just doing half an inch. Yeah, it makes a lot of difference.
Yeah, it just takes the edge off, so you just can't see it. But it's taken me years to get around to actually investing in one of the bloody things. Right. Okay, so we're doing the Portakabin. And Lola's just come up to say hello, probably because it must be about coffee time, more or less. And she's gone, yeah. I could do something to eat now, but that's not happening yet. You'll have to go and see your mum. She's downstairs lasering today. The boss is in charge of production this week. So I'm just cheating and popping these out of here by hand because it's only 2mm MDF. I'm just trying to be careful though, because I don't want to damage anything and break any parts.
You can get away with doing it on those types of buildings because there's no laser engraved detail. No. There's no brick. On the bricks, if you push them out like that, you run the risk of chipping the bricks on the corners. Yeah. So it's always best just to take it slow when you're doing a brick building. Yeah. But if you're doing something like what Justin's doing now, it's absolutely fine. So just push them out.
You end up with really severely frost damaged bricks if you just push them on that day. So just remove these pip node lumps from here with the sanding doodah again. It's not so critical on this one because we're going to wrap it anyway, but I just want the wraps to sit nice and flat. So I'm not having to do any major sanding. I'm just literally wiping the burrs off, I suppose. They're the burrs, really. Those ones.
One day we'll agree what to call them.
Yeah. It's just want them nice and smooth, so when we put the building together, it looks half decent. So then we're not fighting to try and hide blemishes and things with the wraps. You can cover a multitude of sins with the wraps, but it's better to not have the things there in the first place. It's a bit like you say in the world of hi-fi. With hi-fis and things like that, if you have rubbish input, rubbish output, you can't make a rubbish input give you a decent output. You have to. So if you prepare the parts properly in the first place,
start as you mean to carry on sort of thing.
Preparation. So I'm nearly done.
John McKenzie says the spars make good wagon loads. That is very true. I think it means the spare bits, the thin.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, you can chop them up. And...
They also make very good paint stirrers.
True. Yeah. I suppose as modelers we tend not to bin anything, do we? It's a good job you can't see the surroundings actually while I'm on it. If you look at the stuff over the back there, there's quite a lot of junk. It's everywhere. I've got sheets of all manner of things just sat there. I've also got part built kits. Look, we've got half a farmhouse here. Look, which was going to be released before Christmas, but I don't know. I've got time now. It's approaching rather quickly. It's Christmas.
Do you need the outsides of these parts?
No, it's just the windows on that because they're going to wrap round. Right, now, get me wits about me and get stuck in. This should go together quite quickly, actually. The faffy bit is the windows, but the rest of it is all right. Okay, so we want to glue the base and a side wall together first. So SX02 just helps us keep all the parts nice and square and true. So we're going to glue base A to wall B. Really simple.
With the SX002, which is the 90-degree jig Justin's using, someone, I can't remember who's now, gave a really good tip that if you actually line it with something like tin foil, then the glue on the products that you're gluing won't stick to the jig. And if you get it dirty, you just replace the tin foil.
It's very true. You obviously can't see the angle marks, but then,
no.
To be honest, I put when we first did them, somebody said, put angle marks on, put what's it, so 30 degrees, 45 degrees or something. In the however many years we've been selling them, I've never used those.
No, I haven't.
I've never used them. They're more decoration than anything. But these are useful just for holding parts square, really. Right, we want to put an end wall on now.
It was Steve Cockrell who suggested using the tin foil or something similar.
Yes. Right, so that's that one done. I'm going to put the end wall on now. So we've got side and base. And then we're going to just put a bit of glue on here, and we're going to pop this one into place as well. Hopefully this will go together quite quickly, and we won't have to keep you all watching us making stuff for hours and hours and hours. Hopefully it won't be as long as the shop build, which took ages that evening we did that. Enjoyed it, but my God, I was tired. Even our business advisor tuned in at the end and said, "Oh my God, you look knackered. Get some sleep." I'm like, yeah, I know, I will do. But I enjoy this, that's the thing. Right, end wall gone in, so that's end wall C. Now we add the wall, which is D and E. So we're going to put the door opposite end. As you can see, it goes together quite quickly, just like Dylan's building. But you haven't got any engraved detail on these parts at the moment. These are just simple
stuff and tab, aren't they?
Stuff, yeah. Glue on each tab just to make sure there's enough to grip, and then we also run a bead of glue around the inside of everything as well afterwards, just to make sure everything stays where it should do. So that's the door wall, that's wall D, and then we're going to put wall E in on the other side here. You can see what I'm doing. I always end up working off camera like
you sort of wander, don't you?
Yeah. You need the camera.
You start on camera, and then you get further and further afield.
A bit higher, but then it's just getting around to ordering some gear so that the thing's mounted higher up in the air, and I always forget. One thing we need to not do with this is don't glue the roof on. We don't want to glue the roof on yet, because if we glue the roof on and we put the windows in and you push the window a bit too far, the window will fall into the building and then you won't get it out again. So you have to not put the roof on until the very last thing. Otherwise, windows and doors will just end up inside and the whole lot will end up in the bin. And then you'll email me saying the kit's a load of rubbish because it all fell to pieces.
Well, that sounds like you've learnt that the hard way.
Yeah, I have learnt it the hard way. And I don't want people doing what I've done and then go, it doesn't work. It doesn't work because we did it wrong. So you do that. You want a bowl, basically, or a thing, a trough. You know, build a trough, an open trough, with window close to the door, window to the end. That should be about right to make everything work now.
Someone's just asked in the chat, what pencil was that, please? You missed it. It's a 8B by Faber-Castell.
Faber-Castell, I think.
Yeah.
According to my design teacher at school, Faber-Castell are apparently the best pencils in the world, but they're only £1. I think it was £1 from Hobbycraft.
Do you have shares?
No, I don't. I don't actually, no. But I don't know. Yeah, he might have had shares, maybe. He used to say they were the best anyway, but I don't know. I just saw it, went 8B, that'll do, job done. And it works a treat. Say about £1. You can get them from anywhere. The work's got them, the range have got them, anywhere that sells art equipment, really, drawing equipment. Right, let's crack on with wrapping then. Where's all the wraps? There's my wraps. Yeah, not wrapping in the style of.
Yeah, we'll pass on that off.
Did we do those ones?
Did
we or not? I can't tell. I just put my glasses on. You probably did.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine.
I think that edge is a bit.
I can't see because I ain't got my glasses on. I'm going to put them on now though. Just can't see anything. Right, Yoo-hoo. Okay, I'm going to show Dylan what to do. Yoo-hoo. Really simple. You can use Pritt Stick, but I don't like Pritt Stick. But you can use it. Don't like PVA because PVA makes wraps just go all horrible and mushy and just weird. I just don't like PVA at all. Yoo-hoo. This is the smelly stuff. I've always used the smelly stuff since I was a kid. I know they do an eco one, but I've never tried it. I just go for the stinky stuff.
Stick to what you know.
Yeah, stinky. No, I don't go for not because I like the smell or anything. I just honest. No, I just go for this because it's £1 in the pound shop, literally, and it does the trick. So we sort of scribble on the end of the building. I'm covering the building completely in Yoo-hoo, not loads. I just want a smear all over. By the time I've faffed around getting rid of all the string and everything off Yoo-hoo, it's usually gone off enough to not worry too much about it sort of squirting out from the sides, oozing out. It's probably getting there. So I'm just going to now kind of proceed with sticking this on, lining it up the best I can with the edges of everything, trying to make sure that the window lines up nice and neatly, the lines on the side of the building line up neatly, which I think they do. You've got a few seconds with Yoo-hoo as well to adjust things. So if you're not 100% happy, you can just pull and tweak and poke and stuff, and it'll allow you to realign things like that's done. Just smooth it down with your finger. Nothing technical. None of this is technical at all. And then what I'll do now is I'll just rub the corners with my finger. And because we're working with MDF underneath, it's a nice solid core. If it was card, you can tend to round the edges off a bit, but with as you press it. But with it being MDF, it's not. There's no give to it. So if I rub that down with my fingertip, we get a nice crease on the edges, which gives us a nice sharp corner. Okay, so while that end goes off now, I'll go around to the other end of the building and do the same again. So we put plenty of glue on again.
See, I've always been put off by you. I don't know if you can pick it up on the camera, but it's gone stringy around the door.
Yeah.
It's one reason why I never really. I suppose I went off it for modelling for, nameplates on locos and that. I thought it was never really good stuff to use because you've got the string all over your loco,
yeah,
which is a bit inconvenient.
But this is all right because the string, you can deal with that in a minute. Because if you just let it go hard, you just remove it with a knife. With your knife, it's just gone. And as long as you don't get it on the wraps, that's the thing you don't want it on. I've done this one a bit too quick because I've put it on and it's the glue's still quite wet. But with a bit of practice, you get used to just working with how Yoo-hoo behaves. And we just don't want anything on the front of the building there. So, although the eagle-eyed among you that have looked carefully at the photograph of the prototype, which is the one on the product page, we'll see the big splodge of glue on the front of that by the door. It just looks like a bit of weathering, but it's actually a splodge of Yoo-hoo, and I couldn't get it off. So this one is going to turn out neat now, hopefully, and I can replace the product pictures. So do the same again, rubbing the side of the tabs. I'm not saying the F word, otherwise I'll be rubbing the. Anyway, that's not a good idea on a Wednesday morning. Right, now that's dried, you're going to go laser cut kit glue now, only because we don't want stringiness and silliness on the tabs at the side. Just put a bit of that on there. I'll do the side at the same time. And because this goes off quite quickly, we can work reasonably speedily to get the flaps, tabs,
careful,
folded in. It's just something. Anyway.
Peter says Yoo-hoo solvent free does not string.
Well, I'll have to give it a go. Maybe I'll be converted. It's one of those things, you see, if I go, like I said earlier, I'm just tight. I just think I'll go and buy a tube of that. And I don't like it, and I'll never use it again. And it'll sit in the drawer getting wasted. So, but I'll have to get some. Give it a go. So doing the same again the other end now, wrapping these tabs around. Just bend them over with fingertips, pinch it both sides so they glue down. If you take your time with wraps, you see, you end up with, I just think you end up with quite a nice finish. Particularly, I mean, this in real life, it's stucco, it's called? Stucco? The kind of rendered finish on a Portakabin. It's kind of a rough, weird finish. Well, you can't, if you replicate that in double it's going to be pretty much the same texture as a normal bit of paper. By the time you scale it down, it's tiny. So to paint it's going to be quite tricky. Whereas with this, it's done. It's there. With that hail coming down. It might get loud in a minute, in which case the noise you can hear is the hail on the roof, not us.
Good morning, Dak Dak. Thank you for joining. If you wanted to catch up and see me build a Lineside hut, you can, well, in fact, anyone, can go back and watch us previously. As soon as we finish, I think it's uploaded to YouTube, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be there more or less straight away, within 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Right, so that's all tabs on the ends down. I've not done the roof, because I've not put the roof on yet, so we leave those as they are. We'll put the roof on last. Okay, we're going to go for sides now. So, and make sure I get these right around, because the other eagle-eyed people among you will also have noticed that I glued a wrap upside down on the prototype. As you can see, dribbly weathering, upwards dribbly weathering. So you got to see, we're not perfect. I'm not at all. I built something. As we tend to call them in our family, it's an oh shit moment. We have lots of them. And we go, oh, for God's sake, that's not right. So this one hopefully will be better, and I can use this to replace the product images on the side. So more scribbling with Yoo-hoo, decent covering all over. Can't do both sides at once because obviously I'll stick it to the desk. Do that side. I'm going to wait a little bit longer on this one because I want to make sure that nothing oozes out on the ends, because I've got a wrap overlapping a wrap on this side. Now on this
bit more caution advice then.
Yeah, on the end tabs. Just wait a few more seconds for it to start to go tacky, that's all. You can sort of tell, it's probably hard to tell on the camera, but it looks like there's a bit of sheen on it.
Yeah.
As it starts to go off. Just means it's getting a bit of a skin to it. And then right. Just double checking as I do it that I've got it the right way around. And I have. Yeah, there's a little bit of glue coming out that end there, which I don't want. But it's not bad. And as you glue these things together, where you've coloured the edges of the wraps, if you're not happy with the colour and if you want to add some, do it to touch it up, just get your pencil.
Or you could always do weathering powders, something like that.
You can do. To be honest, if I was to be brutally honest, I've never used weathering powders. Just never done. Never peeled. I've always fancied it and trying it, but it's just one thing I've never got around to. And then people say, well, why don't you just do it? I've got enough stuff to do. I've got enough things I want to do without starting to learn how to use weathering powders now.
David Farrier has asked, what glue do you use on Lineside trunking? I used PVA last time.
I would use rocket car glue or laser cut kit glue.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, that deluxe laser cut kit glue, it's when you see it, people go, flipping heck, that's expensive. It is. It's about £8.
I've only ever had one bottle of it.
Yeah.
And how many kits have I built?
Yeah, this is my second in a year, and I build a lot of kits.
Yeah. It lasts forever.
It does last a long time. So for £8, it's like pennies a week kind of thing. And same with the rocket. It lasts ages. Rocket is probably a little bit more forgiving on card kits because it's made for card kits than rocket card glue is than the laser cut kit glue. But it's still similar kind of stuff. But you've got the fine tip applicator, you see. That's the thing. And as our little meme yesterday, our thing on Facebook, got 99 problems, but we tipped it. In fact, I was told last night that it's not and. I put it's 99 problems and I've got 99 problems and my tips aren't one. And it's not an and, it should be but. The original song was 99 problems and my it one. And because Tina said, Jay-Z wouldn't use the word and there. I went, would he not? No, it's but. I went, is it? Yeah, it's but. It's 99 problems, but I ain't one.
I'll have to redo it.
So I thought, I've got to change it. And I tried to change it last night before we went out, and I couldn't get on. They wouldn't let me replace the picture. So when I post the picture again, I should change it to the proper grammar according to
the proper grammar.
According to Jay-Z's dictionary. Tips, that's what I'm on. It comes with a fine tip applicator, the same as the laser cut kit glue, which means you can get just a tiny amount of glue on the bits you need it on, not all over everything. PVA, yeah, you can use a fine tip applicator, but I don't know. PVA
it's just a bit more control, isn't it, with the laser cut kit glue?
PVA just doesn't seem to behave the way I'd like it to, whereas this just works. Right, so that's all four sides now wrapped to look like a dirty Portakabin. I'm not doing anything technical here at all. There's no great skill to this. The biggest, I think, the most important skill is patience.
What's that?
You know what I mean? That's the thing. It's just being patient and just taking your time. Just don't rush it, because you'll be much happier, more satisfied with what you've created if you take your time than if you go at it like a bullet at the gate, like my granddad would have done. Just take your time.
Wheezy Palace Models, great name, has asked, I tend to find rocket cargoes a beige colour. Any reason why?
No. Right. Wheezy Palace. Is that Ian? Ian Hewitt?
Is that there?
Sure it's Ian. If he's not Ian, I apologise. If he is Ian, hello Ian. I'm sure it's Ian. Yeah, it does. It goes a funny colour. This colour's in the bottle, and so does Superphatic, which is why Superphatic now comes in a white bottle, because it discolours. There's nothing wrong with the actual product at all. We've spoken to the manufacturer via the distributor about it, and he said, yeah, I'm well aware of it, and I don't like the fact that it does it, but I don't know why it does it. It's to do with it reacting to light. It has no effect whatsoever on the performance of the glue. It just goes a funny colour. It looks like it's gone off, but it hasn't. It just literally just discolours.
So I think we'll put it down to gremlins then. Yeah,
it's exposure to light, I think. The ones that come out of the boxes here that we've perhaps had in stock for a while are always white, so I'm assuming that it's just exposure to daylight. It just goes a bit weird. Right, we have a fully wrapped doodah now. I'm going to put the base on now. In fact, shall I do that now? Yeah, should do that now. That's next, isn't it? Step number 7. So we're going to put the base wrap on. Same again, more Yoo-hoo.
And it's Chris from Wheezy Palace Models.
Chris, of course it's, sorry, not Ian. Ian's Brockholm, isn't he? Yeah, that's it. Chris
he is, yeah.
Yes, Chris is Wheezy Palace. Ian's Brockholm. Yeah, sorry, apologies, Chris. Look at how many people to try and remember. It's a bit difficult sometimes. So please forgive me on that one. So, right, base. Now, on here, we've got black lines marked. That's because that's going to show us where to glue the jack legs in a bit. And the symmetrical, the weathering is kind of unique, but you can put it on any way you like. It doesn't matter. Just make sure your lines line up with the lines on the side there for your jack legs. But they're purely done purely on there as guides, so you know where to glue them. Right, again, nothing fancy. I've literally just glued that on. There's perhaps a little bit of a loose flap on that end there. So I'll put a little bit of glue under there just to nip that down. Like that, like that. We are. Okay, base done. Main building done. Now we need to move on to the door. Can I? Similar principle to Dylan's door, only this one hasn't got the option to open it at the moment. If you wanted to make it open, you could quite easily modify it. As you can hear the sort of snapping on this. If you work, I've said this in most videos, if you turn the laser board sheets over and cut from the other side, it has a nice pop to it when you cut it. you just know you cut through the nose, and you haven't got to faff around running your knife all the way around. It's much easier. Less risk of cutting your fingers because you're just pressing the knife down.
They're easier to see as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
Easy to locate from the back. But normally in quite easy, logical, 2 in the middle on either side.
Yeah, but I was involved in putting them in place in most of them. Sometimes not very logical at all. Sometimes there's way more than there needs to be, and sometimes there's hardly any. It really depends. Okay, that's the door frame. So we've put the door frame onto the main door. Just a 2-part thing. If you're feeling really, 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 really keen and sort of modelly and like making small things, feel free to cut out a door handle, which you can paint other colours if you wish. This was just yellow because I painted the rest of the door yellow. It's on the same piece of sheet. No, that's not. On the same bit of laser board as the other thing. But I'm going to glue that in place now. Hopefully it won't fall off. There we go. Door handle's in place. It's an optional thing. It's marked anyway, so if you don't want to do the door handle, you don't have to. If you're feeling adventurous, then it's there to be used. Okay, you want a scrappy old bit of cellophane, and a swig of water.
Does this kit come with interior wraps, or is that down to the
It doesn't.
consumer?
That's down to the person to do whatever they want. I would just probably paint it grey.
Yeah.
It would be a pretty bland grey wall, unless you're going to light it inside. If you're going to illuminate it, then yeah, go to town, do stuff inside. But if you're not going to illuminate it, it just looks like a standard Portakabin. If you wander past a Portakabin in real life and have a look at the windows, have a look at windows on most buildings, you'll see that most windows actually just look black.
Yeah.
Or close to, with a reflection on them. Even windows on houses. So you don't need to do much on the inside at all. It's only if you're the type of modeler that likes to put stuff in there because you know it's in there. It's like, well, I know it's there. It's fine. There's also a spare window. Don't panic because you've got 4 windows and there's only 3 holes. I threw a spare one on because the sheet was the particular shape and I could fit one on. It made sense. Oh, that was Dean from Raging Bull Built on me.
You can keep it.
Yes, right. Okay, so window frame. So I sprayed these matte black. I sprayed them from on one side only. I haven't bothered the other side because you won't see them when they're fitted. What we need to do now is get our fingertips covered in glue. A little bit of glue around the unpainted side. Not too much, otherwise it seeps out and makes a mess of your windows. And then we just want to pop them onto the cellophane. Just need to do 3 because then I'm going to cut them out, turn them over, and glue them on the side.
James has asked, can you use paper? Not too sure what you're referring to. Do you mean the interiors? We have texture sheets that you can buy separately and put on the inside if you didn't want to paint it.
You could just use a grey sheet of paper. The inside of a Portakabin would be pretty bland. They are pretty bland. They're just a light grey. So you could paint it, use a light grey paper, use anything. Just pop it on. There's no point. We could do a texture, but it'd be kind of pointless because it's just grey. It's just grey. It's just grey stuff. Just get a bit of grey paper. Right, we're going to set those aside for a minute and let those dry. Because if I start cutting them out, they'll all bend. One thing we've got with this is we've also got security grills to go on the windows. These are optional. Obviously, you don't have to fit them if you don't want to. Bit rough around here, so I'm going to fit them. It's a joke, but it's not really. But most sites have Portakabins with security grills on the windows, so we'll put them on anyway.
James has asked, is Justin in today?
Am I in today? Yeah, I'm in.
I think you are.
It's me. It's me. And they're all here. Dylan is...
Whole team, apart from
Dylan's
Carl.
there. I'm assuming people can hear me. My mic's working, I think, still. They're upset, surely. Right, 3 grills. These can now dry, so I'm going to cut these out without cutting my fingers off, hopefully.
David Chandler said that some Portakabin windows have wire on them to stop vandals. That is something you could quite easily replicate instead of.
Yeah.
bars going up and down. That's
Yeah.
quite easy to scratch build. I suppose
Yeah.
all you need is a tiny bit of solder or
Yeah.
decoder wire, something like that. Paint it black.
Yeah.
Or use black wire.
Yep.
And you can quite easily glue that over the top.
Right. I've cut that one out. Just going to quickly whip around these without cutting my fingers off. Just trying to concentrate. So
More speed, less haste, or whatever the saying
whatever
is.
it is. Yeah. I'm trying not to pull the cellophane. It should be gone off now, but I'm trying not to pull the cellophane just in case. It's going to look really tatty and horrible. Okay, that's 2 done, and I can hardly see which one's glazed.
That says you need a Doberman too. I don't think your spaniel would cut it, being a guard dog.
No, she's noisy, but she's too soft.
I think Fowler, or is it Prizer, someone? I think they do a 3D printed guard dog set.
Yeah, probably.
They probably do.
Yeah, it's Prizer.
Yeah, they do one for everything.
Yeah.
Including everything you didn't know you needed.
Yes, that's very true. If Prizer would release their stuff in actual OO rather than just blooming HO,
that'd be nice.
They would they would do really, really well. Okay, so we can glue these on the back of here now, which will give us completed windows. We can then pop the windows in, try and get them positioned where we want them. Door in, roof on, roof wrap, jack legs, job done. Simple, he says. Right, so that's a completed window. It's just 2 layers. It is glazed, yeah. There's just enough. The cellophane works all right for glazing. It's not too thick to work with. It's just enough. That's good. And it's taking a single-use plastic and turning it into something that's multi-use.
A double-use plastic, yeah.
Which is at least helping. I would like to switch to eco-friendly wallets completely at some point, but
it's finding the right one, isn't
it? Yeah, we can't get the sizes. You can't get the flipping. It's just awkward at the minute.
James has said that he would like to see something from Heartbeat's TV series done.
All right.
Well, I've never seen Heartbeat, so I don't know.
I've not either. It's based up your way, I think, somewhere.
Is it?
Yeah, it's filmed in Gothland, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah. I think now you've been watching that on. You'll be streaming the box set. Yeah, it's on. It was. Sure. Oh, that's the wrong way around. You idiot. These are handed, by the way. They're actually rectangular rather than square, so you've got to make sure you get the windows glued correctly. That one wasn't. That's better. Right, they're done. We shall fit the door now because the door is set. The glue's set properly. A little bit of a cobweb from the old Yoo-hoo in the corners, so just remove that with the tip of the knife. Gone. Double check the door fit, just in case we need to adjust anything or trim anything, but we shouldn't need to do anything much at all. It should just about go.
Measure twice.
Yeah, just in case. And if it doesn't fit, it's because I've glued it wrong and I've put it together wrong. There we go. It's a snug fit, but it fits.
You don't really need to glue that, do you? I suppose you can tack it from the back,
tight,
but that's all you really need.
It's snug. Just ease it in with your fingers, make it sit nice and flush. Just from the front there, that's about right. And then all I'll do to secure it is a little beady glue up both sides, there and there. Just a bit glue up the sides. That'll soak in and fix that in position. Do the same again now, crossing my fingers with the windows, and they do fit in much better than they did on my prototype because I tweaked them. We do the same thing again. Now the windows we want to, because there's no sill or anything surround really, it's printed on the texture. I want to make sure the window frames sit towards the front of the window reveal. And then again, a really tiny bead of glue around the inside of the window. As neat as you can get it. Don't get it on the window like I just have. But repeat, this is the reason why you need to do the windows while the roof's off, because then you can get your fingers behind and ease them into position. You couldn't do it from just the front. you get annoyed with it. So again, so you secure it in place from behind. Just literally running a bead of glue around 3 sides of the window. That's enough. Plenty to hold it in place. Same again with the other one. And we're nearly done. Yeah, happy with that. Secure them into place again from behind. Then, if you glue them from the outside, you just have beads of glue everywhere on all the wrap and everything. Just look a bit. So if you do them from the inside, keep everything nice and neat and tidy. Right, done. Obviously, if you're going to detail the inside of the Portakabin, you would do that now before you put the roof on. Excuse me. But we're not doing that today. We're just going to glue the roof on.
I know it might give a slightly worse appearance, but if you cut the top of the wraps off, the flaps that you're about to fold over, would you be able to model it so the roof is removable?
You could. What I could possibly do on future releases or future versions of them is make a second roof wrap that you can wrap the whole of the roof. It's just the construction of it, because it wouldn't slot in to here like this. You'd have to have the roof as a separate sit-on thingy. Right, get on. That's tight now.
James has said, did you get my other messages? No, I don't think we have. Let me have a look.
Get in. That's it. It's gone in now. Other messages about what?
Don't think so. Yeah, if you just pop them in the chat again, please, James, and we'll reply to them.
The chat moves really quick.
It does, yeah. We quickly miss them. And if you comment, I know it says you're commenting from YouTube, but if they were sent via Facebook, we might not get them on because of the privacy settings.
Yeah.
I always say it's best to put the comments on YouTube, and we'll definitely pop up then.
Yeah.
Brian's saying these models seem rather big. Are they O gauge?
No, double O's. No, they're tiny. This is tiny. This is a 20-foot Portakabin, so it's 80 mil long. Yeah, 80 mil long. 20 times 4 mil, 80 mil. 80 mil long. It's 8 foot wide, 32 mil wide. Yeah, no, it's correct. It's built and designed off of Portakabin's drawings on their website.
I think the doors are a standard 26 mil tall.
Yeah, 6'6" door, usually 3 foot wide most of the time, or 2'6" sometimes we do them, but usually 3 foot for an exterior door, which is about right. So no, I must have small hands, perhaps.
Or would it be big hands? Small car, far away car.
I don't know actually. Anyway, right, we've nearly got a Portakabin, which is brilliant. And then we can let you all go and get a cup of coffee. What time is it? 11:15. Not doing too bad. Coffee time.
James has asked, how do you find the designs for these models? Google, really.
You find the prototype to model it off.
And then we use
off of our
sizes.
Brains.
Yeah.
And then these are designed. I sat and drew the. I work off basic drawings and photographs. You get. You look at photographs on Google or whatever. You just take photographs of real things where you walk past them. Then you look at sizes for things. You Google sizes for a Portakabin, for example, and you go, right, it's 20 foot long. It's this big. It's this, this wide, etc., etc. So you get all that information, you collate it all together, you talk while you're gluing wraps on and make a complete pig's ear of it. You then sit down with a pen and paper perhaps, or jump straight on the computer and start drawing. Use your photographs to give you some guidance as to how things should look. And just get stuck in really. But I mean, these are all the wraps on these. I sat and drew them. They're based on the wraps for the KX10, which is our really old Portakabin kit, and I've just modified them and improved them and made them more of a premium finish. But it's all done in Photoshop. It's all done from scratch. You start with a blank sheet and draw the textures, draw the stucco is done with a filter in Photoshop. It's done with a gadget really in Photoshop. But there's no quick and easy way of doing it, which is
It's time, effort, and practice, trial and error usually.
a lot of it. I've been doing buildings since 2010, so it's quite a while.
Probably even longer if you count your childhood modelling.
Well, yeah, true. That was mainly just building other people's kits, but been doing it for a long time. Right, nearly got the jack legs out. And that's more or less the last thing to be glued on, apart from our security grills, the windows. Now, the jack legs I've just painted both sides of the sheet, and you'll see that there's a slightly bold, unpainted edge to those bits. You can either use that as being a bit of weathering and just say it's a rusty jack leg, of which there are many on Portakabins around the world, or you can just use a Sharpie or some other black pen just to colour it in once you've got it on the building. Well, maybe before you put it on the building, just in case you colour the building in. You don't want to do that. That would be bad.
Got a couple of comments asking about models from around the North York Moors Railway, and I actually forgot that quite a few of the previous ones we've got are actually based either on that railway or from very, very close. The LX384 station shelter, platform shelter, that's based on the example found at Robin Hood's Bay, which is a stone's throw from Pickering and Gromont. The LX4 Summit, I forgot what it is now, the Lineside hut.
431?
431, yeah, that sounds about right. The LX431 Lineside hut, that was based from the example found at Whitby.
Oh, that's not a thing. I thought it was a black pen. Anyway, I thought it was a black pen. That's a black pen.
That's a black pen, yeah.
That's the what's it? UV money testing pen, that is.
All right.
That's from when we went to a show at some point. Why it's on there, I'm
Not been used for a while, that one. It's T-gauge.
Yeah.
So we already do quite a few kits from the Yorkshire way. I suppose quite a lot of our houses, the houses that we did recently, they would fit in quite nicely in that sort of area.
Very generic.
And this cottage that you've got in the works as well, that's even though that's based on an example around here, these neck of the woods, Cornwall, it's equally as at home.
Oh yeah.
Up in the North York Moors.
Yeah.
Grant says, when you say LX, my Alexa opens.
I won't do it.
I'm tempted.
Yeah.
No.
It's like Mosley does that on the radio quite a lot.
He does,
he
yeah.
People's like, yeah. Right, I've just coloured those in black. Right, jack legs are paired. This is one thing I did cock up completely on the prototype. You want the longer leg that sticks down to the ground, short leg up to the top. So long leg down to the ground, short leg up to the sky. Okay, so turn it over. I'm going to glue the one with the long leg on there over the black line. And then we're nearly finished, actually. This is just when the glue starts to block up. This is nearly done.
It's looking good, though.
Yeah, it's all right, actually. I quite like grotty buildings, I think.
Grottier the better, usually.
Yeah. All right. So that goes on there. That's that jack leg done. That's the long one going down to the ground. Okay, and we want to put the shorter leg, which is the skyward pointing one.
James has asked, have you done any models of a fire station yet?
We have a fire station model. It is quite an old kit now. It's a KX11. It's quite an old kit. It's not available laser cut yet, but I do want to change it so that it is available laser cut. I'd like to do it with pre-cut MDF cores so that it just fits in with our current range, but it's just something I've not got around to doing yet.
So it's a case of one day, but not maybe not today.
Maybe not today. No.
Yeah.
I'd like to do some other stations as well. I mean, places like Leicester Central and stuff, they've got quite nice older fire station buildings. It'll be nice to model. So now, the only thing you got to do when you glue the top wrap on, you see, as I was talking while I did the top wrap, the roof isn't quite square, which is now really annoying me. But it is what it is.
The roofs are never square on these sort of prefab buildings, so I suppose they're all
no, but it's just
together.
Where my black line is, where I want to glue, when I'm gluing the jack leg on, my black line's not quite in line with this one on the side of the building. So it's bugging me now, but I can't do anything about it apart from take it all off and glue another wrap on. Which
be me to just say where I come from.
I'll leave it for the moment. Right, so we're just gluing this jack leg on, and I've done that thing where I'm working over here again. It's because I'm trying to concentrate on where I'm putting the leg. Okay, the other one's not too bad, this one. So again, long jack leg first, and that's the one that goes along the base.
I'm not going to read it out for obvious reasons, but Simon Cox, I have seen your comments, and that's quite amusing.
Yes, could do. I wonder if that works actually. Yeah.
Should we try it?
Yeah. Yeah, these whatever they're called, digital assistant things, are quite useful for certain things, but sometimes you do wonder what they're listening to. They hear absolutely everything, I think.
Doesn't stop us buying them though, does it?
No. No.
It's like McDonald's complaining about McDonald's, so then going to Kevin McDonald's.
We use that. Well, this thing's on all the time. We've got the radio on it. It plays the radio all the while at work. Because it's easy just to walk in the morning and say, play, what's it? And the radio's on. Or Spotify Connect or whatever.
Simon says it will work. If you search on Amazon for KX068, you get the kit.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You could have some fun here.
You could you? You could get everybody to order stuff. Yeah. Well, the coach says, what are you going to do to increase sales this month? I know, we're going to do a live broadcast and we're going to ask everybody to order stuff. Or we're going to do it for them. Right, jack legs are done. More or less. I'm sort of happy-ish with them. It's because I didn't get my roof wrap as square as I wanted. But it's okay. So jack legs are on. So what I said about the long one, the short one, I've got a longer one there that points down to the ground. It's slightly longer than the one at the top, just so it sits. So the cabin sits raised slightly. That's the plan anyway. It sort of works. So when it sits like that, it's jacked off the floor anyway. So up on the top, it's jacked off the ground. Right, that's that. So a bit of security fence grill stuff out, and that's it. We're done. That's this morning's build done. And it's 11:23. It's not bad. 2 kits in an hour and nearly an hour and a half.
That's not bad, is it?
No.
Good going.
We'll get your little one modified.
Yeah, I've thought of a couple of tweaks I want to make, but apart from that, it's a nice little kit.
Right. So these just simply glue over the top of the window, and you nudge them into place with your fingertips or the tip of a knife. Press it down. Nothing technical at all. Here comes the wind again, probably followed by hail.
Bear Lane has asked if he can see the LX432 Bracken on screen. Do you want me to go get some?
If we've got a pack, yeah, and I can show you it in position.
Where would it be?
In a minute. You'll have to ask a Kate or a Claire or a Tina.
Was it
LX432?
432.
Right, I'm putting glue around the side of the window on that one to make that work. You'll hear Dylan now because he won't have turned his mic off. So you'll hear him ask where LX432 in a second.
Can I
Probably.
have an LX432
Anyway,
Bracken, please?
there we go. Security grills, all done.
Just taking the last
There we go.
one.
That's better. We've got a nice Portakabin. I think that's quite reasonable, actually. Quite old thing.
Or the summer one? Any?
They're easy build. Doesn't take too long at all.
It's fine.
Just take your time with the wraps. Don't rush the
Think
booth
we've done
like
it in
I did,
5, 10
and you get it all wonky. She's really, really bugging me, but it is what it is. Can't do much about it now. But it's done. That's the Portakabin. So that's KX068 20-foot Portakabin. I'm going to do a 40-foot version as well, and I'll do modern versions, but they'll be after Christmas probably. Let me just reach over here and grab some bracken. Dylan's legging it back upstairs and some now as well. Right. So, thank you. A packet of bracken looks like that. Can you see those? That's the packet of bracken. There's 32 plants in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 4, 8, 32. Even with my maths, there's 32 in there. When they're installed on a layout or diorama or whatever, they look something like there. You see those? That's what they look like. That's the autumn ones, obviously. The ones I just showed you were green. Both identical, just that they're autumn brown, the others are green. But they're pretty straightforward to install. They're tiny. They're tiny, so you do need patience and tweezers. But they go together. Well, don't go together. You don't have to do anything to them other than bend them, distort them, and mould them to the shape you want. A little bit of glue on your embankment and poke them into place with a pointy thing. Really, whatever. Cocktail stick, glue tip, tip of a knife, ballpoint pen, anything you've got that's pointy and ideal for poking bracken into a thing.
Are they painted at all? Are they just off the screw, fold them, put them in?
I haven't done anything to them. I've just literally pushed them into position.
Is that the same with the these?
The green ones are the
Green
same.
ones.
Yeah, the green ones that are on the embankment one over there.
Wow, they look really
so
good.
they're just. I spent ages looking for authentically coloured green paper and autumn brown. I managed to find some, and that's it. Straight out of the packet. It's, I don't know, 20 minutes work probably to put all those there. There's 32 in that area there. I put loads in just to give you a nice sort of densely populated patch of bracken, really. But you can spread them out as you want. They work really well because they're the right size. They are up to 8 millimeters in each frond, whatever they're called, which is 2 foot, which is about right. We've sort of measured some of them out on a walk one day, just with your hand. You sort of go, well, you sort of think, well, that's sort of 7-ish, 7 or 8 inches, and you think, well, yeah, that's roughly going to be 2 foot, isn't it? So large bracken, when it's been growing well in the sunshine, is about 2 foot long. So it works fine. So that's those. That's the brackens. That's LX432. It's autumn and summer.
They are pretty incredible looking.
Yeah.
They do look good.
Quite pleased with them, I must admit. We made some long time ago, back in May, I think, and I never got around to actually doing much with them after I'd done the first one. I sort of did a test and went, yeah, that looks really good, but I'll finish them off. And then never got around to going to anywhere to get paper. And found some last week. So that's those. That's bracken. So that's the end of today, really. We've done one of them. And that's the bracken. This is going to get modified now and tweaked a bit so we can get a proper one cut before Dylan goes back to Yorkshire. He can do another test to make sure it's right, write the instructions, and we'll get it out and available. And I'll try and do a wrapped version as well, which shouldn't take too long to do. Very straightforward. Right, I'm absolutely famished. I need to go get some food. The other thing you can do also with a Portakabin is a jack. Stack, not jack. They'll stack up, okay, if you make sure your jack legs line up.
I've just passed me the excess sprue you've got on the left.
That lot?
Yeah, that lot. I just realised you can do, if you wanted, you take the excess sprue, if you just cut, 5x5 off here, times 4, paint them concrete grey, you can use them as concrete levelers.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah,
the
jack
the feet.
Yeah.
If it was, or you could have one in the corner if it wasn't meant to be level, or
yeah, that's true.
something similar.
That's very true. Yeah, but they stack up all right.
They do, yeah, nice.
Too bad. I think the we do a set of steps that would sort of work with it, but the problem is Portakabins are slightly different dimensions to containers, and the steps we did go with the container, which is the double containers. So when two containers are stacked, they're slightly different. I think this is about a foot taller because of the jack legs. So the LX245 don't quite work, but nearly do. So I need to modify that. Anyway, that's it for this morning. Thank you very much for watching.
Going to change over?
Yeah, you can do. Remove. That's it. Yeah. There we go. Thanks for watching. If you don't see it before, have a brilliant Christmas. We'll probably do a Christmas video as we normally do at some point. But I don't think there'll be another live next week unless you want to do one.
I can do it next week, yeah. Don't know what.
No, you do one. But that's it from us for 20. It seems like this year's got so pretty quick. But that's it from us for 2021 in terms of live from HQ. I'm going to go get a bit more time. I mean, what's it? Where's the gummy? Right, I'm off. And he's off.
I'm off. No, I'm not still.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you all again in a couple of weeks. Whatever, no, 3 weeks?
Something like that.
4 weeks?
I'll see you next week.
You'll see you next week.
Yeah, see me next week.
But yeah,
See
have
you
a
later.
brilliant Christmas and all that. See you in 2021.
Cheers, everyone.
Ta-da.
Bye now.